Trapped in fear.
That's funny.
Because breaking cycles, I think it can be fearful. You're fearful of what's on the other side.
Yeah, when you're trapped in a cycle, it's definitely a cycle of fear. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh, I just got wavy in my head. I feel like we're on the right track with that one. Mm-hmm. Trapped in fear, and we need to release that because what you fear the most is the one thing that you should do.
Ooh. I love that. I love that. When you are on the spiritual journey, and we've channeled this before, go towards anything that scares the shit out of you. You know, like, especially for now I feel like I'm speaking to love addicts. Like I'm being called, our collective maybe has some love addicts. Mm-hmm. If you are trapped in the fear of being alone, maybe that's something you need to explore. Right? I'm so afraid of being alone. I do not want to be alone. I want to have this cuddly person next to me. Even if we fight all the time, that's an addiction. Mm-hmm. That's codependency.
Oh, I feel like we're on the right track. Yes.
Anything you would like to say about this?
This is so relevant to even the situation that I'm in, but I know that it's not just my situation. It is a big collective situation. Mm-hmm. Hell, I mean, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere.
There's people who have been together for 30 years who, I mean, we all see it. Why are you guys together? Yeah. You know? It's codependency.
Afraid of change.
I've lived most of my life with this person. Yep. I grew up with this person, and I'm gonna stay right here because this is where I'm comfortable. Because it is scary. I've said it. I don't want to date. Like, I'm gonna stay right here where I'm comfortable because God, I do not want to go out into the dating world. That is insane. But eventually, you know, Spirit has a way of just like saying, like, see how scared you are of feeling this? Yeah. You better go there. And I did. And I do feel free. There's moments of sadness. Like, of course I was codependent. It's so easy to be codependent, especially when you're with such a lovely, beautiful human spirit. You know, yes. Like my partner is beautiful and lovely. He's amazing. He's wonderful, right? But also what comes with this journey is really, really being faced with who you are as a person, right? Who are you? Who have you been your whole life and you weren't paying attention to? And then you start thinking about all the things that you've suffered because of the choices that you made, because you're not being who you really, truly, authentically are, which to me was, obviously, I'm a gay woman, right? I'm a gay woman. And I was in this beautiful relationship with this beautiful man, you know? And I was terrified to live without him. But at some point, Spirit made me so uncomfortable, you know, like, and when I say spirit, I'm talking my higher self, my partner in this whole thing, like my controller of the avatar, you know, the one who wants me to develop the best way I possibly can, just kept pushing and pushing and pushing until I was finally like, you know, if I stay in this place right here where I am, I'm gonna die. I feel it. I feel my soul being sucked from me, and it has nothing to do with this person in front of me. It has everything to do with being my most authentic self. My God, I'm so emotional.
I'm so proud of you. I was
going to get emotional. God, I didn't think this was all going to happen today, but yeah, if you're scared of something, we need to move towards that thing, because it's your ego telling you, don't do it. It's scary over there. It's new territory. You don't know anything about it. Stay here where you have been your whole life. You know, even if these experiences, like, I look back on all my relationships, like, toxic as hell, right? Like, I was not being my most authentic self. So that means that the relationships that were coming towards me could not fit my most authentic self. And I just kept trying to fit these puzzle pieces, these rounded puzzle pieces, into this square hole, you know? And it wasn't working for me anymore. And it was scary. It was so scary to just say, I think I'm gay. Like, and I whispered it to myself, like, over and over and over again. And at first it was just a whisper, and then it was like, I think I have to have this conversation out loud with someone. And it was a 3-year process for me, but once you realize that this is my most authentic self with anything, it doesn't have to be, you know, realizing you're gay or bisexual or whatever, transgender. It doesn't have to be those big giant life changing things. It could be just a career change. Like, I am not living my most authentic self in my career right now. It's sucking the life out of me, and it's not my career's fault. It served me and it gave me such a beautiful life, but this is not who I am. I'm not authentic right now. So do you have anything to add to that?
Well, for one, I am super proud of you.
Oh God.
I know that this was really hard for you to come out and talk about it. It's so, you make yourself so vulnerable when you do that.
Yeah.
And but I am proud of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I get what you mean. I have also lied to myself. I don't think I really lied. It's not lying. I think I didn't know myself.
That's what it is.
Didn't know myself for a very long time, and I kept attracting narcissists, dangerous ones. Like, it makes me sick, and to think that I for so long that I felt like that was all that I deserved. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Why do I keep being treated this way? And I actually thought that when I escaped my last husband, when I finally made a decision, I'm like, oh, I'm growing. I didn't stay for 13 years in this one. I ended it. I'm learning the lessons, and I thought I was healing. And then I got with this man that had never treated me like anybody else in my life. And I prayed for him. Like, I knew he wasn't ready when we first got into a relationship, but he was, when we finally entered into a relationship, he was beautiful, and he treated me like a princess, a queen. And I didn't even know what that truly felt like. So I ignored little red flags that kept popping up. I ignored them. And I realized this man wasn't healing from his past trauma. And then he entered a relationship, and then I started paying for past traumas that other people did. And I put up with it until just recently, when I went through another awakening.
I feel like you had a divine feminine awakening. I feel like your divine feminine was sparked and ignited, and that DNA just like, whoo, like shot up you, and you were like, wait a minute. No.
Yes. And then I finally stood my ground. I finally defended myself, and I stood in my power, and I said, no longer am I going to continue to accept behaviors for something that I did not do.
From an unhealed place.
Yes. And so, and I am currently going through that, and it is scary, so scary, because this was the person that I didn't want to enter into another relationship that was going to end in a traumatic way.
Oh, yeah.
I was tired of the pain. I was tired of the hurt. But you know what? I love myself now. I have more confidence in myself. I know my worth, and I could never say that before. I didn't even know who I was, Kristi. I didn't even know who I was. And today I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I can actually list things about myself. I know who I am. And it's like, and it makes me emotional, because I didn't know who I was outside being a mother. But now I have a whole list of things that I can say about who I am. And that is enlightening, inspiring, and empowering.
But how scary was it at first?
Really scary, because I entered.
How long were you trapped in that fear?
For my whole fucking life.
There you go. Yeah.
My whole life. Of being scared, of being a people pleaser, of being what people wanted me to be.
Yes.